Welcome back to Apex Academy, your ultimate home for all your crypto education. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. One new stream every day 8 p.m. East African time, so make sure you get tuned in not to miss an update. Hello guys, hope you are doing well. First thing first, Duocon passport voided. I'm sure you all know who Duocon is and what he did to his native project, that is the Luna token, which dumped almost 100% within a single day. So let's hope that he's gonna be arrested and charged with the South Korean authorities so that we may actually know what transpired in that particular token. So quick update, market cap is down also by 2.41%. Current market cap 939 billion, slightly below the trillion mark. Cryptos, we are now at 21 to 39, up from what we had last night. If you check the top caps, we have BTC down 3%, Ethereum 2% down, USDC, that's a stable coin, and then we have BNB, which is down by 4.33%. Maybe you can just wonder, why is BNB more down compared to these other coins in the top cap? And actually that is because of this. And the Binance Smart Chain Network, they experienced a hack that was a potential threat last night, basically, where someone was moving between 100 to 110 million worth of crypto off their exchange. And this triggered an abnormal kind of behavior. The developers got to work and they actually found the root cause of the problem. And Kuz actually tweeted out and said that an exploit on its cross-chain bridge, that is the BSC token hub, resulted in extra BNB being minted, and we've asked all validators to temporarily suspend Binance Smart Chain Network. The issue is contained now, your funds are safe, we apologize for the inconvenience, and we will provide a further update. So he went down to give more information of what happened. Basically, there is an attacker who managed to mint some more BNB, and they were now trying to transfer these funds from Binance to other exchange platforms, maybe to sell them off. They were trying to borrow some tokens in these other lending and borrowing platforms, and that created that form of suspicion. And Binance actually paused their withdrawal for some time. You are not able to deposit or withdraw any assets through the Binance Smart Chain Network, and that is why there was this explanation, so that you are not kept in the dark. And I feel that's pretty good, because the developers were quick to respond. They were on site and they were able to that particular situation. I saw in some tweet also Kuz saying that he was woken up by 3 a.m. by calls from the team of informing him rather of what was happening with their platform. Also, if you look at Bitcoin, 19,429, the last 3 days, that is today, the day yesterday, and the day before yesterday, we've experienced a slight dip from the $20,000 mark. Now we are at 19,499, and someone was saying actually that BTC is now behaving like a stable coin pegged at $20,000, because we've been hovering around this region for quite some time now. We tried and went slightly above 22,700, but we've now retraced. We are now at 19,438. So we've been hovering around this region for quite some time now, and at this point it may not be prudent to predict which direction we may head. So we might continue hovering around this region for quite some time now, because it appears this is where we have more of the liquidity at this point, and as well as this particular point. So let's just hope and see how that's going to play out before we enter the next run. So you can see this, the BNB chain was halted after that suspected attack, and about $536 million were compromised. So this was just this particular wallet that was trying to make these erroneous withdrawals, prompting the developers to switch off the chain completely, so that the situation can be contained, so that those money cannot be lost. So apart from that, we had Binance, the same exchange, can spend almost $1 billion in investment in this by the end of the year. And actually this is true, because you've seen Kuz moving around from one country to another, trying to talk to presidents, head of states, creating more adoption and creating more industry, creating more knowledge in this particular space so that we can have massive adoption. We saw Kuz in West Africa where he was speaking with the president of Ivory Coast. We saw him in these other European countries. So this investment that Binance is pumping in right now, I'm sure they want to cement their position as the top exchange platform in the world. And that is why even in our country, Kenya, we've had adverts about Binance on local radio stations. So this tells you that this guy actually going a notch higher. And this $1 billion investment could actually be surpassed by the end of this year. So you can see it has put hundreds of millions towards the NFT, DeFi, and TradFi payment services. They're also trying to better their services, they're bettering their platform so that it can actually attract more people. Guys who are buying NFTs from other NFT spaces like OpenSea and the rest, they can now shift over to Binance. So this program, I'm sure it's going to succeed, and most likely they will surpass this 1 billion investment cap by the end of this particular year. Speaking about investment, we had a pre-sale earlier today about the Everchain. It has just ended. They had a soft cap of 350 BNB, that is 355. They managed around 470 BNBs. They're going to launch in the next 24 hours. So let's just wait and see how this project is going to perform. It is backed by some very good utilities. There will be staking. There will be also some rewards in form of and so on and so forth. So the project has been audited, KYC done, it's safe. So let's just hope and see how the project is going to perform. So back to the big news where we had, which we had today, and that is Visa. Visa is the world leading provider of card payments and services, and now they have launched Bitcoin and crypto debit cards in 40 countries. So this is in partnership with FTX. FTX is another exchange platform. It's actually, I think, the third exchange platform by size. Let's just check that very fast. We have Binance, of course, leading the pack. Then I'm sure we have the likes of Coinbase, that's coming up at second. Then we have FTX coming in at third. So basically, Visa have partnered with FTX so that users who are using FTX can get these cards, and by getting these cards, you can be able to spend these cards on any POS using funds that are stored in your FTX account. So that means you don't need to go through exchanges. For example, you're traveling to Dubai, you have your Bitcoin card. You don't need to go through exchanges, maybe converting your dollars to the dirham. With your debit card, you can be able to swipe at any POS, withdraw money from local ATMs through this partnership between FTX and Visa. And I think this is going to be a very big and significant step towards the issue of crypto adoption. And you can see that the next phase of rollout for the FTX branded Visa cards is expected in Europe before the end of the year, with additional regional launches planned for 2023. So we expect this to come in handy so that we can have more freedom using our crypto even at the local stores and the local POSs and ATMs as well. So apart from that, we've also had another update coming in fast, quick, and in a hurry, and that is the issue of Canadians. And we've had a story going through the social medias in Canada and the newsroom, and that is more than 30% of Canadians, they plan to purchase crypto by 2024. That was said by the OSC head. And maybe you might wonder, why 2024? Why 30%? And basically it's because in the year 2024, that year is projected to be a bull run. Why a bull run? Because you're going to have what you call the Bitcoin halving. So the Bitcoin halving basically decreases the how coins are being circulated, how coins are being introduced to the economy. Because normally currently we have about 144 blocks being mined, that producing 900 million coins, 900 bitcoins every day. So by 2024, that number is going to be halved. Instead of 900 bitcoins every day, we're going to have 450 bitcoins being produced in the economy every day. So that creates a bit of scarcity in production, and of course that's going to bring in more demand. So 2024 is projected to be a bull year. So these Canadians that are projected to buy crypto by the year 2024, I'm sure they have studied the patterns and they know how the market works, they know the cycle, and by this particular period, most of them are gonna reap some very good gains. But it's always early to get in early. So I'll suggest, if you're watching this, instead of buying these coins and waiting for 2024, just get in early. Get in right now. You can see Bitcoin right now, it's at what price? 19,000. So why wait till 2024 when you start seeing the bull run? That is when you want to jump in. I'm sure you love to buy your Bitcoin below 20,000, not buy your Bitcoin above 40,000, $50,000, and so on and so forth. So that's about the Canadians. So if we cross down the South America, that is Brazil, and the Brazilian president, the presidential candidate rather, is the Lula da Silva. He has signaled support for Central Bank of Brazil involvement in crypto regulation. As we all know, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, these are one of the biggest adopters and one of the biggest users as well in the cryptocurrency space. We have several banks in Brazil that have allowed guys to transact through crypto in their local banks. And this guy, I'm sure, once, if he manages to ascend into power, is going to push for these regulations. And from what we heard some time back from the chairman of this regulatory body, I'm forgetting the name, he said that if regulations can be pushed in, then most likely we are going to have more adoption, and we are going to have more positive news to the crypto world, and coins are going to go on a run. So let's wait and see how this is going to happen, because you can see the candidate has obtained most of the votes in the first president ballot round, and also known as Lula declared that Central Bank of Brazil should be responsible for building a cryptocurrency law framework. Lula also stated that the impact of cryptocurrency should be measured to avoid any adverse effects it might bring to the national economy, and that now brings in the issue of regulation. So let's see how that is going to play out. I'm sure it's going to work well, and it's going to bring in some more positive energy into the industry. Also, we've had more adoption still, that is Farfetch, an apparel store basically in the United Kingdom, I think, back in London. They have now allowed cryptocurrency payments in 37 countries. So even if guys still shun this industry, this is where we are heading in the future. We saw McDonald's a while back accepting crypto as payment methods. We've seen Russia accepting crypto as payment method for international trades. Earlier we saw Iran doing the same. We've seen so many adoption back in Dubai. We have hotels accepting Bitcoin, and now Farfetch is here. We have Gucci. So most likely we are going to have more and more companies and retail traders accepting these currencies as a payment method. And one thing I love about crypto is that it creates some form of uniformity in the currency. If you have one Bitcoin, I have one Bitcoin, we are all equal. However, if I have a million Kenya shillings and you have a million US dollars, definitely you are at the upper hand. But if we have one currency that we can use as a base currency across the whole world, then things are going to work out very, very well in the particular, in the economy rather. Also, back in Africa, we still have more adoption. That is Namibia. Central Bank says Bitcoin can be accepted as payment. So we've seen Namibia is here. We have Farfetch here. We have Brazil. We have Dubai. We have Iran. We have Russia. Top economies, top countries are seeing that as the route. So Namibia, I'm sure, it's just a matter of time before this bill is actually taken to Parliament. And let's hope for the best. You can see that even though crypto do not have status of legal cash in Namibia, the country's CBK, not CBK, but the country's central bank, that is the Bank of Namibia, has announced it has now included virtual assets and virtual service provider under its fintech innovations regulatory framework in a phased approach through its innovation hub. So this is some positive news. Let's wait for more developing stories from the African country and see how far they're going to take the Bitcoin adoption and maybe make it as a legal tender. Let's see how where Namibia is placed in making BTC a legal tender. Now we go to CMC, we go to legal tender countries. So once we are on legal tender countries, let's just see where Namibia is placed currently in making Bitcoin a legal tender. You can see we have these two countries that have it as a legal tender. We have Russia, Zimbabwe comes in above Namibia most likely, then Nigeria, Germany, Colombia, Malaysia, it's not appearing anywhere. But I'm sure in due time, because of that particular development, we're going to have Namibia. We have Kenya at 79. We're going to have Namibia in the higher ranks in this form of adoption. And finally, we have Malaysia, the Malaysian government, and they are announced to plan to build a national public blockchain. So blockchain is one of the technology that can really save people a lot of hassle. For example, back in Kenya, during the general elections, we were using blockchain to transmit results, and I'm sure if Malaysia implement the same technology, maybe in keeping their records, government records, things like purchases of land, things like surveys or other important documentations, blockchain can pretty much solve these particular problems. So you can see they want to build a public blockchain, and I'm sure Mimi's Technology Solutions signed a memorandum of understanding. They will develop and cooperate Malaysian national blockchain infrastructure to onboard the nation's private and public sectors to Web3. Both will be the components of Malaysia blockchain infrastructure, that is the MBI. So this is where most countries are heading to, issue through the Web3 DeFi platform. Those are applications built on top of blockchain, and I'm sure it's going to bring in some very positive and significant growth to the Malaysian economy. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms at Apex Crypto Academy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And see you on the next one. Kenya, at what number again? 79, I think so. Yeah, 79. Let's take these figures. Let's climb up. Let's get to about top 10, top 15, top 20 thereafter. So, cheers, guys. Good.